Alright, so this is the video submission from Ramalina on the forum, a regular contributor to the forum and quite a long-term GSFer, I think. So he submitted a video of him flying the Tier 1 Scout, the Black Bolt on Imperial side at Iokath for analysis. Before we get into the video, I wanted to just go over a couple of your build options. Fairly standard stuff, mostly just evasion build really, not going to go into details of all that because you've got it all here. I think there's, given the level you're playing at, your scoreline in this match, I think there's a few small changes you could make that would improve your flying and your ability. Excuse me a second. Sorry, yeah, so I think there's a few things you could do that would, with the build, that would improve your abilities with the ship, as well as the flying things that we'll get into as well. So very quickly, one of those is power dive. You're using speed on power dive, which I can show you here. Black Bolt. So you're using speed here. I think it'd be better off using single turning. You're using regen thrusters, which is plenty of power, plenty of engines for a TDM in a scout. Scouts benefit from turning. Out-turning things is what scouts do. And so you'd be better to have that turning, I think. It also blends well with, having the extra turning blends well with what I think you should do with your lasers. You're using the standard laser cannon. Now, compared to rapid fire and light laser cannon, it doesn't have the armor piercing of rapid fire lasers. It doesn't have the DPS of light lasers. So, a bit behind those two. It's got better range, but scouts do better getting close, really, particularly since you're using pods. So I suspect you may be using it because of the range, but its damage or lack thereof, and particularly its very narrow arc, don't play into a scout's strength. It's got quite a narrow arc compared to the other two. It's quite a high drain weapon too. You've got this tier 4 option to reduce the cost of laser cannon, but even with that active, these will it's still a higher drain than rapid or lights. The biggest thing also is it doesn't have this option here. Now what this does, it doesn't just increase your weapon firing arc, it reduces the tracking penalty. And what that means, if we look at the tooltip here down the bottom, I can't put the mouse there, but look at the bottom of the tooltip, it says 0.65 degrees, 0.65% per degree. What that means is that if we go to your video, so what that means, this is your firing arc, as you well know, and everyone watching this will know. And if you take the dead center of it and go out to the circumference, that's your radius. And for every degree further away from the dead center you get towards your circumference, you will lose 0.65% accuracy per degree. They all have a tracking penalty, as you can see, but this option here, we take it away, you see it just says per degree, that says per degree, that says per degree. if you put that option in, the improved firing arc and tracking, it then says less 5%. You can see it with rapids. So now it says less 5%. What that means is you still lose, if you take rapids as an example, you still lose 0.7% per degree, but then it subtracts 5% from your loss. So that's quite big. That's quite significant. What it means is it's compensating for the difficulty of shooting at the extremity of your arc. It compensates for, I don't want to say bad aim, but it compensates for errors or inaccuracies in your aiming. Rapid fire, light laser cannon and burst laser cannon, which is the three most common and usable weapons you get on a scout, all have this option here, improved firing arc and tracking. Standard laser cannons do not. Also notice that you lose 1.2% accuracy per degree, which is almost double what lights do. So yeah, no real reason to use this. On this ship I'd go with rapids or lights. Either one is good. So the other thing I wanted to mention, connected very much to your choice of lasers and the turning, these all combine to make a stronger scout, is you're using Lieutenant Pierce. You're using him for the extra ammunition, and I don't think that's necessary. In fact, I think any scout should use Jacer on imp side or Kaizen on pub side, because you get the improved kill zone, and the improved kill zone gives you 4 degrees, not the stated 2 in the tooltip. You also get the 6% weapon accuracy. Don't underestimate how powerful those two are. 80% of your damage should be coming from your lasers, not from your ammunition. But the other major reason I don't think you should be using Lieutenant Pierce for spare ammo is the way you are very aware of your ammunition and you keep refilling it, which we will see in the video, so I won't elaborate too much on that at the moment. So your ammunition is kind of taken care of. Having that 12 extra pods doesn't really matter. You'd be better off putting it into the accuracy of your lasers. So that's enough about the build. Let's get into the game. I'm going to close my game down, otherwise it will blare music when I go AFK. So you just spawned out, sorry, gotta say at this point, you mentioned, just for the sake of the video, anyone watching this, you mentioned to me that you have a non-standard monitor, and that's why the aspect ratio is out here. So anyone watching this, that's why interface here, interface features are small, and that's why things look distant. So some things are going to be hard to read, like buffs, distance readouts, going to be hard to tell. It's going to look like you're further away from your target than you are, because the ship's going to be so small. So this isn't how a game actually looks, but we can see enough to do an analysis of the video for sure. And I'm not going to get into every little detail about everything. I'm just going to get into what I think are a couple of primary things, 2-3 primary things for you to work on, that I think are going to step your scout playing up from where it already is, and also highlight things you do really well for other people to take lessons from. So yeah, let's go. So you're trying to take that guy head on and don't really do a lot of damage to him. You haven't built a jousting build out of this ship. So yeah, we'll expand on that in a little bit. What happened here, someone tried to lock a missile in you and then pretty much stopped locking a missile on you, and you retreated quite far back, and it happens again there. No one's locking you at this point. There's no tone, so I don't think you need to go this far back. Don't feel bad about it. Invis literally said this about me just recently, a few weeks ago, in regards to my gunship play, saying that I sometimes barrel roll too far back and it takes me out of the action, and then it takes too long to get back in the action. You're in a scout, you've got lots of turning, quite a lot of engines. Just look for the nearest object. Iathcath is full of clutter, debris. Look for the nearest object and just line of sight around it, rather than boosting that far out. So yeah, that becomes a little bit of a habit in this video. So this is nice. Nice damage on this guy, nice range, but then you don't finish him. So I'm just going to take that back slightly. Your approach is good, and you've done some nice damage to him, and he's completely unaware of the damage you've done to him. He's not getting evasive. He's not even speeding up. You're already banking to the right, and you're already at the correct speed to just continue that bank and that turn and finish him off. This is where what I talked about with the build, having a wider arc laser, rapid fires or lights with the tracking penalty reduction would come in really handy, because as you turn to pursue him behind him, the tracking penalty and the arc are going to come into their own here, especially when you combine them with wingman and targeting telemetry. Nevertheless, you could still get the job done with standard laser cannon, despite its comparatively narrow arc that you've got here. But you don't. You just leave him. So yeah, I would encourage in this situation, you've dealt nice damage, he's not getting evasive. You don't really have to chase, just keep turning and banking, finish him off. This turn here is a little bit non-textbook, so that's an all mouse turn, that one. There's no pitching down or up. In a scout you want to, in any ship actually, not just a scout, but this is particularly the strength of scouts, you want to be pitching up or down to turn. So in that situation where you're sideways and it's not really a pitch up or a down, you just pick a direction. So here what I'd be doing is pressing E to bank to the right and then pulling the mouse down to bank down. He's moving slowly, so your pursuit flying, your tracking of him is it's sufficient, but it's not the correct way to turn. If he was moving faster or being a little more evasive, you never would have kept with him. Nevertheless, you get the kill, which is good. Job done. What you do here, again I'll elaborate on this again in a little bit. Nice damage you've done to him, but it's a little bit, I don't want to say spray and pray, because you've dealt some nice damage. We look at his health, he's close to full, I think, almost full shields. And then
that's a hit.
Right about when you stop shooting, he's got no rear shields and his health is very low. Can't see the percentages because of the aspect ratio, but I think you'd do well to be a little bit less spraying laser fire and pods like that, because that's tanking your accuracy, and it's also destroying or wasting a lot of weapon energy. Again, rapids particularly, and lights as well, but less so. Less drain. So if you want to go crazy with your lasers like that, they will allow you to do it a little bit better, but I still wouldn't encourage it. And I think you're good enough to not need to do it as well, definitely from some of the other stuff you do in this video. So we'll expand on that again in a little bit, just building things up slowly. So that's nice, kill from behind. It's exactly what a scout should be doing. And here we see the first of quite a few yellows that you pick up, and this is a really good awareness of ammunition. So this is why you don't need Lieutenant Pierce. This is why you should have the extra firing arc, because you're making sure that your ammunition is topped up. And also, if you're a bit less spraying laser fire and pods all over the place, you're not going to go through quite so many. So yeah, something to look out for.
You're going down.
It was a little better distance. And there we see someone locking the missile on you again. They stopped locking the missile, but you keep boosting. And now you're quite far outside the engagement zone. Instead of running and using all your engines up, either line of sight around some of this debris. ICAT is fantastic for this. It's brilliant to break line of sight. There's so many nooks and crannies you can use, even going through some of this debris, not just around it, but like inside it. Or just bring him to your teammates, because the match is going quite well. You're ahead. I think that's 8-3, which means you're doing better. So someone starts locking a missile to you, kite him towards your teammates. You got Disto and Power Dive. It's not going to land one easily, and just let your teammates help you. You're a little bit passive, I think. I think you're better than that. I think the damage and kills that you get in this match, you you have the potential to be a little bit more aggressive, less passive. Excuse me a second. So let's just bring that back slightly. This was a much nicer turn. So you still banked, didn't quite pitch right, but it was better. And this is lovely. That's just like perfect. That's where scouts should be. Went too far back. So could have pitched a bit better, but then this is just like, yeah. That's how you fly a scout. Well done. More of that, please. This moment here is like
that coming to you.
I'm gonna pause it. Right, this is exactly where I want to talk into this a little bit further. So he's at 4,400 about when you start shooting, and your max range is 5,250, but your damage and accuracy are pretty poor at this point. And bear in mind, you've got a weapon overcharge, which is giving you more weapon regeneration than you would have otherwise. So what you do here, I think you do really, really well to do a lot less of this, to try and stop doing this, which is spamming lasers and pods at a target that's close to max range. And the reason being, a lot of ammunition used, a lot of weapon energy used, and then you do a really nice turn and end up right behind him at exactly the distance you need to be to finish him off, in a nice shooting position, but you don't have the weapon energy to make the kill. So it then becomes a... See, this is beautiful. That's right where you want to be, 300 meters. So exactly where a scout needs to be to just deal immense damage. But you run out of weapon energy because of what you did moments ago. Consequently, somebody else gets the kill. So I'm going to pause the video there and just take it back. So at this point here, instead of doing all this spray and praying kind of shooting, you're better than that. And you just saw it with the kill you did before this and the way you got in this behind this guy after this. So you can do it, you do know what to do, but just for clarification, just for demonstration, this is what I want you to work on a little bit more. These are 2 clips from my videos, and this is what a little bit of patience and a little bit of flying does. I mentioned this with Grav in his analysis video. Learning to follow someone and resisting the urge to keep shooting, and then take your opportunity when it arises. Exactly the same situation you were in just a moment ago, but watch the difference with how I handle it. So the person you're looking for is Crab on my target window. Crab's a friend of mine, excellent pilot, fantastic pilot, not easy to kill. So when you can see how I do this, this works on Crab, it'll work on pretty much anybody. No disrespect, Crab, hello if you're watching this. This was a great match. So Crab comes in there, and watch how long I follow him for. I only fired 1 or 2 shots, one of them hit. Just stay with him, wait for the opportunity. There it is.
A direct hit.
Okay, so that's in a domination using pods. I got this little clip because that's using pods, which is much more similar to what you're using. By the way, that's how big my firing arc is. Okay, that's with 4 degrees from passive, from crew passives, and 2 degrees from the tier 4 option. And here's one in TDM doing exactly the same thing. It's Vexen here that you're looking for. So coming in behind, looking for my opportunities. That's 1 shot landed. Stay with, 2, 3, done. Okay, admittedly I had a damage overcharge, so the damage is exaggerated, but you see the point. Now, you're already doing this. You did it with the kill before this guy. You do it with this guy, but you don't have the weapon energy when you do it with this guy because of what you do here in this moment. So, I think you're good enough to do this. Definitely to practice it for sure. Because you do it a few times in this video. It's not the only 2 times you do it. You do it at other points.
That's a hit.
That was nice. In fact, that was exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, that you were following a guy, and then you took your opportunity at a decent range and got the job done. Granted, he was low on health, but that doesn't matter. You did it. And then that's more of the same. Good. That's better. That's what I want to see. Picking up ammunition, 2nd time, brilliant. Just affirming again why you don't need the extra ammo from your crew, because you're taking care of that manually yourself, which is better. This gunship, right at this point you realise you're going to overshoot. That's fine. I understand I still overshoot on occasion. But remember what we talked about in the beginning about the strengths of a scout. This is where a wider arc laser, remember, look how big my arc is. Okay, so look how big that is. That's the full BLC arc that you get, with all the buffs to make it bigger. And then yours comparatively small. And I think that's affecting the way you're flying here, because what you do is, having dealt damage to this guy, you then boost away from him and then turn to come head on again. Now, when I'm in a gunship and scouts do this to me, I'm like, yes, that's going to make them easier to kill if they're going to come head on with me. That's where my railguns are. That's where my burst laser cannons are. That's where I can sit behind something and strafe in and out at them and beat them if they're determined to try and get me by coming head on at me. What it would have been better to do here is to hit S, to slow right down and pitch down or up, your choice, your preference, and stay really close to him. He might have burst laser cannons, it's a tier 1 gunship, but even if he has, he can't outturn you, or at least he wouldn't outturn you if you had single turning on this, which you don't. I think you still outturn him, but this would be a lot easier with single turning, hence that build suggestion in the beginning. So you want to stay very close to him, like those little clips I just showed you, and outturn him and shoot him at angles he can't shoot you at. He's in a gunship at the end of the day. Don't do this boost away and turn into him thing. That's what strikes need to do. That's what heavy laser strikes need to do to attack a gunship. Scouts don't need to do this. Scouts can dance circles around a gunship. So again, something to think about, to adjust in the way you're flying. And I reiterate, it's something you're already doing. You just don't do it all the time.
We're hit. That's a hit.
Yeah, at this point here, what you want to be doing is paying attention to the target window to see what his orientation is to you, and then try to position yourself behind him. It's not super easy to do, and just to reiterate something I said in Graz's video, it's a finite use of W to throttle up, S to throttle down, X to shut your engines off, boost, and then your banks, which is A and D. So when any accomplished scout pilot or top level scout pilot is flying, he's flipping his fingers between all those functions really quickly, shutting engines off, boosting forwards, throttling down, to maintain distance and to be able to track and turn with somebody. That clip I showed you when I was pursuing Crub around the node, that's what I was doing, and that's what he was doing, pursuing the person that he was pursuing. So that's what I'd like you to work on, and this gunship becomes a much easier kill if you then combine in that flying skill tactic with the build suggestions that I've made about giving you wider arcs, more accuracy, better turning, to play into that strength, to play into that style of flying.
That's a hit.
So you eat a missile here,
Hold on to something.
and what happens there is you eat the missile because you used both your defensive cooldowns. That's fine, nothing wrong with that, you've got to use them. but then you didn't break for line of sight. So I just want to point that out. Break for line of sight, go defensive until at least one of your defensive cooldowns comes back, and then you can start getting offensive again. And then here you are, doing it perfectly. And that was just lovely. If... I'm just going to pause it at the right point, but watch how closely you pursue this guy, how closely you track him. And if at this point you had, going to keep saying it, a wider arc laser with a reduced tracking penalty and wingman on, this is a kill right here. I think someone else gets it, and that might still happen, but that's not what's important here. What's important is the flying, the positioning, the pursuit is great, and this shows that you can do it. You just need to think to do it that way more.
Without shields.
So that was actually a nice line of sight initially there, but then again I think you boost a bit too far. It works for you because you pick up a yellow and a purple, which are both really good, replenishing your ammunition, giving you more engines, more evasion, but again you do go quite far out of the battle. So yeah, I think it would have been good to learn to stay a bit closer.
You're going down.
That's a nice kill.
Taking damage.
This is where I think you need to try and stay with your team, because you're quite damaged and you seem to want to pull them out to go solo with them, which is a confident thing to do. Yeah, so you could say it's a good thing. You do get the kill, so for sure it worked, but you are very damaged, so it's a little bit risky going closer to your team rather than out here onto the extremities. Would have been a bit less of a risky thing to do, even if what you did work. So I'm not going to knock it that much because it worked, but again, just something to think about.
You're going down. Bye now.
That's nice. Again, doing it from behind at around 2k distance. It's good stuff. See, I can see you thinking about the pursuit here. You're thinking about chasing him down and staying with him. Just press that left button a bit less and concentrate on the flying a little bit more.
Hold on to something.
Yeah, just shoot a little bit less, and it was a good pursuit. Just focus a bit more on the pursuit. Rather than the constant firing. You see, when you focus on it there, you get a beautiful kill. So I know you can do it. I know you are doing it.
Hold on to something.
This was again fortuitous. You again used both your cooldowns, both your defensive cooldowns, then didn't line of sight, and you were quite fortunate that no one was trying to lock a missile on you again. So yeah, keep that line of sight in mind until one of those cooldowns comes back.
That's a hit.
That's good. So you've got good power management, which is great. You're getting yourself into F2 and F1 a lot. F3, sorry. That's a nice turn. Yeah, that's how you need to do it.
Now
you see how much quicker you turn like that? Beautiful. Great turn. And look how much closer you are to him. It's epic. I love it. That's it.
That's a hit.
That's scout flying. That's what I'm talking about.
Not good.
Nice pursuit.
Show them what we're made of.
I'm not going to have a go at you for that. It happens. I do it. Sometimes it's a lag. That really annoys me. So, yeah, don't worry about it. More evidence here if you're doing it right. You see a target, come in behind, both the cooldowns, nice range, job done. More of that. More of that.
Think I see
And again,
bodyguards.
great. There's quite a few kills you've got here from behind, and that's what you need to be
Won't recover from
aiming to
that
do.
anytime
Another
soon.
beautiful turn, great tracking, excellent. You see, that doesn't need to be improved. Like, that's
Won't
shoot a
recover
little bit
from
later
that
maybe,
anytime
but the
soon.
turn is good. And then burst him here. It's brilliant. It's excellent. It's fantastic. So you're definitely, I reiterate this again, you're already doing it. Just do less of this spray and pray stuff from
Won't recover from that anytime
close to
soon.
maximum range, more flying to get in behind someone and then open up when you've got the opportunities to do it. Did that guy get Sabo probed?
You're going down.
I couldn't see the buffs, I think he did. So, you found a damage overcharge.
Now we're
I haven't
talking.
commented on damage overcharges in this video. For one, the map, the aspect ratio is too small for me to see where the damage overcharges are. Secondly, I'm not about to say, oh, there's the damage overcharge and you're not getting it. Oh, there's damage overcharge and again you're not getting it. It's up to you if you want to learn where damage overcharges are. The information is out there readily available for everybody, and it's not as difficult to learn as people think it is. And the reason I'm saying that all right now is because you demonstrate here just how powerful a damage overcharge is. So you're looking for a target, a little bit spamming fire again there, and then at some point here you spot a gunship. There it is, and this guy just goes down so fast.
You're going down.
So if you want to look for damage overcharges, they're out there. Learning when they are is beneficial because you see how powerful it is. So again, nice pitch turning to try and track that target. He's kind of getting away from you, but at least you're trying. At least you're trying to do it. It's good. And then ultimately he doesn't get away from you, so it's brilliant. That's what I want to see.
We're almost there. Press the attack.
Here comes that bad habit again. The missile tone has stopped, but you're still boosting into cover. Or, well, not into cover, into no man's land, really.
You're going down.
I don't know if this is the same gunship from earlier, probably. I can't see the name. But here again, you're doing that boost away to come at him head-on thing. So, focus on the turning like you were moments ago. This is max range shooting. That's taking your accuracy, not doing any
You're
damage.
going down. Had that coming
Alright,
to
I
you.
take it back, you're doing damage, but it'd be faster if you got closer. It'd be more efficient if you got closer.
You're going
Nice
down.
bringing yourself to a standstill, timing that well at a nice distance, very good. this is max range, you see. So you see another yellow, replenishing ammunition, again extremely good. I just want to draw the contrast of those two though. Like this one's brilliant, you get nice and close, and then this guy who's fine, he's moving and the gunship wasn't, but he's not moving fast, but you don't go nice and close. So
show them what we're made
so
of.
we replenished ammunition. You're a master at replenishing ammunition. I just want to say this to anybody who's flying any ship, apart from maybe a gunship, in a TDM. Yellows replenish your ammunition. Whatever missiles you're using, whether it's rocket pods like Ramalina here, or whether it's proton torpedoes, you see people typing in chat, has anyone got ammo refill? You don't need it. Go find a yellow. There's loads of them. Replenishes ammunition. It does more than that. It also gives you more weapon regeneration, but replenishing ammo is valuable.
Time is running short. Annihilate them. Won't recover from that anytime soon.
Right. This is nice, and you do get the kill, and you slow down well for it, but I can see you're a bit unsure if you're going to overshoot, and you don't overshoot, you get the kill, but there was a risk of overshooting. It can happen, and you didn't use targeting telemetry. Now, typically your use of either your systems or your co-pilot's been pretty good. I've not picked up on it because there's not, you're aware of what they do, how to do it. You don't need to be taught anything there. But if you'd used your targeting telemetry just a moment earlier, or a second or two earlier, you'd have finished this guy without risking overshooting him.
Time is running short. Annihilate them.
So you do use the targeting telemetry, but it's right at the last second. Don't overshoot, don't overshoot. Oh my goodness, I'm so close. He got it done. Just use it a little bit earlier. And that was a really nice position there at the end too. Shame the game ended. Right, so I can't read this because of the aspect ratio. I think it's 16 or 18 kills maybe, 1 death, and I want to say that's either 61k damage or 81k damage. It's advanced flying, okay, whatever it is. So it's fine, you're top, you're doing well, but there are those things you can improve on. So just to recap, your accuracy is 33%. Your accuracy is 33% because of these moments where you're at 4k plus range, emptying your weapon energy and half your ammunition trying to destroy someone at 4,000 meters plus. If you stop doing that, just don't shoot at 4k range and get closer to try and work on being at 3k, at 2k, like you have in this video quite a few times. It's not that you can't do it. It's not that you aren't doing it. You are doing it. Just try to stop doing the spamming your firepower at 4k range, and this accuracy figure will come up. As Flux has always said, accuracy damage kills. By bringing your accuracy up, you'll suddenly get more damage. By bringing your damage up, you'll suddenly get more kills. And then you just notice yourself being more efficient. So just to go back quickly to one of my little clips, just to reiterate a little point about it. Don't fire your lasers. Said this to Grav too, and Grav improved massively with this since the analysis video that we did for him. Pursue someone without firing lasers, and then fire your lasers when the opportunity arises. This is about a 12 or 13 second pursuit. Okay?
Yes.
And then fire your lasers when the opportunity arises. So that's the biggest thing that I think you would do well to work on. That would bring your accuracy up, that would bring your damage up, that would bring your kills up, that would bring your confidence up in the scout. The build changes would aid all of that. The wider arc, the better accuracy in the tracking penalty reduction. Don't forget that the crew passive for a wider arc actually gives 4 degrees, not 2 degrees. And the better turning from having your power dive set to turn rather than extra speed would also help the scout track someone from behind, like we just demonstrated there. So that's the major things I think you need to work on, and I think that would send you from being a good scout pilot to a really good scout pilot. There's always room for improvement. I make no claims about being the best scout pilot out there. I'm not. And when I go and spar with Invis 1v1, I feel like I'm rubbish because the guy is just amazing. So there's always someone better. There's always someone who can teach you things. But yeah, that's where I think you're at. I think you're flying really well. I think bravo for submitting a scout video and not a strike video. Keep at it, work on these things, and within a month, you'll be a different scout pilot, I reckon. So great stuff. Thanks for watching.